Hmm. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. I don't mind this being public. Having a hard time doing this. It's okay. We strive for authenticity, right? Okay, so we got somebody here. Let's do a share screen. Let's go over here. Give it a minute for people to come. I'm just trying to figure out where the link to I did it the other day. A link came up somewhere here that I could share for the YouTube. Okay, I can't find it. That's my weekend project. Okay, um, we have a couple of people here. Let's let's see if we can. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it. There we go. Okay, that way we can kind of see what's going on a little better. Making it larger for me too. Okay, so right now I'm just kind of looking where we are. It looks like SPX is somewhere right near 59.50. And if you look at my notes, what I'm looking at, let me go over here. Here's the whole secret in a nutshell, so to speak. Let me make sure I have the right 0 DTE. Okay, that's good. All right, fine. So here's market maker positions. First thing that I want to look at is where are the market maker long customer shorts? Those areas from below, we kind of stall their resistance, but it's not the same as resistance because what happens? Market makers are long futures here. So as we go up, they have to sell because they're too long. But then what happens when we pull back? Oh, then they're too short because they got sold. So then they have to buy. That's why that positive gamma creates that positive sticky drift. I don't know why the thing is bouncing like that. And the same thing happens from below. And that's why we get these chop zones like between 50, oh, I see, I'm scrolling, between 50 and 80, whoever this is, 50 and 90. Okay, but see, all right, so here's what's going on here. If we can get out of the orbit of this, then we have this 75 big magnet. Market maker short, customer long. Magnet. So if over here, and we get out of the orbit of this, we have a magnet, and we have them stacked a little bit, which is good. Because as stacked, these deltas all start going up and it kind of pulls us up. To the downside, below 50, we have the magnet to 40, 30, and we have this support-ish feature here at 25. So if this breaks, we have a little bit of support in here, price can take us down here. Now let's look and see what that looks like on the heat map again. Let me just kind of get a view of the heat map that's somewhat useful. Okay, so here's market maker positions. Oh, that's customer. That's market maker. So here's the market maker positions, and here's the corresponding heat map. Now, be aware that the heat map is not just 0 DTE. It's the entire SPX complex to infinity and beyond. I don't know if it's every option. I don't know if it goes out 3 years, whatever, but basically it's every option. And so this isn't going to correspond exactly to this, but since the 0 DTE have the most gamma, that's going to give us the idea of where the main reaction zones are. So 75, upside, boom. If we get out of the orbit of 55, now remember I told you though, once we get below this, it gets that sticky pull up until it can get in the orbit of this. So right here we have this big void. So that's that big void here. And here's path of least resistance. It can just kind of drift down into this zone. Now you see the overall color is kind of whitish blue. So there's really not a lot of gamma or whatever pulling it there. But it's broadly supportive. Let's flip the script here. And take a look at charm. Now we're going to look at another chart. Again, I can't see the levels here. So here, below here, this 5950 is suppressive. That's the positive gamma where we bounce off of, but then drift up towards. So here's one pocket. Here's another pocket. So these are your two main pockets. I didn't look at the upper pocket. Now, the reason that it's basically a big fuzzy mess over here is because charm is very dependent on time. Charm is even more dependent on time than gamma. Again, if you think of SPX is at 5950 and we have 2 minutes to go, a 5955 call might be a 20 delta or a 30 delta going to 0, whereas that same call at this time of day is a 40 delta. So the deltas collapse to 0 or 1 as we get as the time collapses to nothing. So that's why we get that. I want to change screens. Stop screen. Present. Okay. Do this. And trying to find something here. I had a training view chart open before. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, let's take a look here at like a normal chart so we can kind of see what's going on. So this has got some mental cue. I use them to do some content for them. And their stuff isn't quite as robust as options depth, like not really at all, but it still shows us where the levels are. So for the sake of going over the of this, it's fine. It's very useful. So here we are, and you can actually, in a way, this is good because you can see the different contours of the levels. So again, if over here, we can head up to here. Over 6,000 is kind of highly unlikely because we know we have a lot of those customers sold. We know that we have over here customers sold calls up here. Market maker long, customer short. That's what's causing that. And you have just more stacked sold calls and stuff up here. And to the downside, oh, this is cute. I can just go back and forth. To the downside, here's why we're seeing that 40-30 stuff. Here's why we're seeing this. Here's why we have these features over here. But the difference is this gives me a line. I don't know how much weight to put on the line. Here I know exactly how much weight to put on the line. And so, you use everything in combination, obviously. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, got a few people here. Okay. Now let's switch gears and I'll do something in more detail on iron condors, as I mentioned last night. But let's think about about if we want to sell an iron condor. So I don't know about you. My first goal in an iron condor is not to get hit, not to have it in the money, and not to take too much heat in the process. So a lot of times it can really move against you. You can be down, you can be down, you can be down, but then it expires worthless. or you could get out, and that's a real psychological drain. So I want to make sure that I'm above custom or below market maker long. So here's one stall point, here's another stall point. So over 6,000 is good. If you wanted to be a cowboy, you can go closer. Over 6,000 is good. But if we should get there by some miracle, you got a little stuff over here that might pull us up. And so if I can get juice up here at 1520, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that and not really worry about it. It's really that simple. Now you could sell in here, the 90s are probably good. You don't want to mess with 75. 75 is something you might want to mess with. If we stay in this area, we could get a pull toward that level. Below, well, I'd certainly like to be below the 5940, which is why somebody asked me about selling the 5940 put, and I said, no way, Jose. Whoops. And if we look at what happened to if we look right here at this, that's kind of where we are. I don't want to sell something over there. I want to at least be down here. And so if I'm going to sell a put, I'd like to be below the round number, tell you the truth. I'd like to be down here if I could be. Now let's look at customer positions. Okay, I just want to make sure it's 0DT. 0DT. I want this to be position number, not gamma. This position number is going to be constant. The gamma for very far the money is going to be a lot less than the position number. And here you can see in the put space, we have some customers long 5,900 puts, and that's it. Not a lot of puts around. So what's creating that positive gamma? Well, there really wasn't much. Remember, we looked over here, there's really not much here. Really not much here. So here's the 5,950. Couple of short calls here. And really nothing till the 5,900. Now the 5,900 short calls and the long puts, if we just want to go back up here and see how that nets out, that nets out to more, let's do it with delta so it can kind of be more clear. Come on. So here's where the support potential comes from. Market makers are long delta down here. So as we go down, the deltas get longer and longer, and so that can send us back up. Was that helpful? If there's any questions or whatever, you can jump in and ask me. The other thing is VIX. Let's talk about VIX for a second. Where's bar charts? I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention VIXpiration. VIX is expiring. I don't know why it's giving me this crazy thing here. VIX is expiring. Maybe if I go. Hmm. I think it's here, maybe. Yeah. Here. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. Let's look at the open interest here. Calls at 20, calls at 18. There's your inflection point. All this stuff is out of the money. It's basically worthless. You see 4 cents, 6 cents. There's nothing to talk about. What matters is this, 18. What matters on the put side? What matters on the put side, 18 again. Really, the 20s, so those are in the money. So, I mean, in theory, to hedge those, these are pretty much hedged already. They got 0.87 delta. Yes, but if we go up, then market makers would have to buy a little bit of VIX futures. So all this is going away now. And what's going to be the main influence is this. Now, it's not a lot different, but it's different. Here, suddenly, we have the 20 strike calls, and 23, 21, we have some overhead calls that are customer long, dealer short, some at 19. And on the put side, we have 16. We ain't going there. 17 cents. You want to buy a lotto, you could. The 18s were basically at the money are 88 cents. So I guess these at the money are a buck, let's call it, and the calls at the money are 250. And so that also shows you the difference in volatility in those, the difference in demand for those, and the difference in hedging activity. The market makers have to hedge much more on that as it goes up. And if there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap it up here. Do I see any questions? Oh, there's a chat. Let me take a look at the chat. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, Rick. Rick and Natalie and Natalia. Okay. Hope that made sense. Hope that was helpful. You're welcome, David. And I'll get better at figuring out how to use this this StreamYard thing. This weekend, I've got a little convention, staycation kind of thing locally, so I'm not going to be playing around with this stuff like I normally do, but soon enough I'll have this where I need it to be. And I'm not sure if my brother's going to be coming on to do some scalping this afternoon. I think he is, but I don't remember what he said. All right, take care, everybody.